Welcome to Thoughts in the Glass podcast. I'm LaToya.
And I'm Kendra.
And this is a weekly podcast where we share our unfiltered thoughts and opinions on a variety of topics.
So sit back, relax, and grab your favorite drink and join us on a conversation of real, raw, and ridiculously funny commentary.
Period. Every week we do a drink of the night. So Kendra, what's our drink tonight?
So tonight's drink in celebration of St. Patrick's Day, we have the Irish Appletini. So to make this drink, you do 1.5 ounces of Irish whiskey, an ounce of sour apple mix, half an ounce of fresh lemon juice, or the lime juice? Lemon juice, thank you. Thank you, myself. And half an ounce of honey syrup. Put it in your shaker, shake it on up, and you come out with this tasty martini.
And we garnished it with a sprig of rosemary. Cheers.
Rosemary to go with the green theme. Okay, Robin.
You know what's so funny?
Well, tastes a little hint of honey.
Ooh. Yeah. All right, so it's not funny, but one, it's good. But two, I feel like I never see... When you make a regular apple martini, you usually use vodka, right? Mm-hmm. I never see people use whiskey in a mixer. I mean, I guess maybe sometimes I see it, but it's usually for like, I don't know, like even when I think of like an old fashioned, that's bourbon, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like people drink whiskey like on the rocks or like.
Well, I feel like bourbons and whiskeys are like cousins.
Is it like...
So it's a whiskey bourbon?
All bourbons are whiskeys, but not all whiskeys are bourbons.
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Well...
So if you have a bourbon, you're having a whiskey.
Yeah.
But if you're having a whiskey, that doesn't necessarily mean...
that you're having a bourbon. I just never see it used in, like, mixed drinks. So to see, like, a cocktail using just plain Irish whiskey, I just feel like it's different. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not.
I think there's a lot.
As cultured.
I think they use a lot of Irish whiskeys in mixers. Some of your more bolder whiskeys are like on the rocks.
I guess if it's aged or if it's like really refined, then you would drink it like that. I like Jameson. Is that whiskey?
Jameson, yes.
I like that in my hot toddies. Also, this would be good with Apple Crown. So, like, instead of using the Irish whiskey, use the Apple Crown.
But this gives me, if I didn't do the apple mixer, it would be like how I get a whiskey sour.
It would be. It's like a whiskey sour with a little hint of apple flavor. That's exactly what it is. But it's still good though. I like it. And the rosemary is cute. I mean, I don't really taste it.
Well, it hasn't. We didn't seep it.
Don't you with herbs? Aren't you supposed to like?
Yeah, you're supposed to crush it. I just didn't want to crush it.
Not crush it, but like you twist it or something like that to release the oils.
Either crushing, like if you twisting it,
it's
still giving that crushed.
Yeah. Anyway.
So with a rosemary, you would muddle it to get with it.
Okay. Yeah. I guess, but also too, you don't want that rosemary flavor to be so strong. Anyway, we digress. How was your week?
Child, I'm still planning this party.
I know. So, okay, you're doing almost all the decorations. Oh, all the decorations yourself. So
outside like lights and stuff that I bought from Amazon.
How far? Like, so you got your centerpieces made.
So the centerpieces are made. I have the twinkle lights to go inside the centerpieces. I ordered the black tablecloths. I ordered the chair covers. We went to IKEA and got extra chairs. I may have to go out this week on Friday because I'm getting off early and get a couple more tables from either the foldable tables from either BJ's or whatever. And also on Friday, either Thursday or Friday, because I'm getting off a little early on Thursday to pick up the boys. So I'll get them. I'll say this. I had the plan to maybe go to the grocery store so I can get the stuff to make the mac and cheese. I could do that. Start and just have that in the refrigerator. You know, mac and cheese, it get all infused.
Yeah. Let it marinate.
But Jonathan says to me today, because he's at home with Devon, because I cooked dinner last night. And instead of me taking dinner back and forth, we just left it over there. And so, and they dropped the kids off over there for me. He's like, oh, my dad said you need to take me to the practice on Thursday. Because he started on Saturday, took him to the football tryout. And on Sunday, took him to the football tryouts or workout to see what they can do and stuff like that. Well, Jonathan's been playing football in athletics since last year. So they every Tuesdays and Thursday, especially when it gets nice out, they teach the kids that and soccer and stuff like that. So he's very athletic, and I'm glad that I did put him in this. But the thing is, and I'll get back to the party, but I don't want to miss this part of why I got to do everything. If this is something that you wanted to do with him, this is something that you brought to the table, you telling me you can't pick it, you can't have him there at 6 o'clock?
So it was his dad's idea for him to be in football, but when they got to take him back and forth to practice.
My dad said, I need to be at the practice at 6 o'clock on Thursday. And so my thing is, no one said, hey,
does that work with you?
Does that work with your schedule? Do you have anything else going on? Because how do you know that when I pick them up, I don't go back to work or I don't do whatever? Like, no one cares. You only have to deal with him 4 days out of the month. And you can just... And the thing is, and I guess the other thing that pisses me off is I hate people that do stuff wanting a reaction out of me. And I'm not a reactionary person.
Same.
I will just do it. I'll be irritated about it, but I will fix my schedule and I'll just do it. And the first time you call him about, why didn't you tell me about practice? Why weren't you there? If you can tell me that he needs to be at practice at 6 o'clock, that means you can also show up to be at the practice at 6 o'clock. And even if it's like, you going through him, cool, because we don't really talk like that. You did go through me to try to, hey, because it's my weekend, can I get him on that Sunday? Cool, no problem. I don't talk to him about anything that outside of Jonathan, right? If you picking him up, Jonathan has a cell phone, you could call him. If I know it's your Friday, all I ask, which neither one of them does, text me once you get him so that I know that he's gone. Right? Because more often than not, he's either picking him up at 6:30. I'm not home yet. And I'll have to then look on the ring or see that he's left through the ring or whatever. And sometimes with the ring, if it's gone off back to back, delay. Sometimes it's a delay. Or I just don't get that notification and I have to revert back and I may see his car pull up and then see a car is gone. Because that, whatever has been going on. Anyway, I digress. So that's throwing off my Thursday. Do I just drop him off? But I don't know how long the practice is. So now I'm being held hostage at the practice because I'm sure there's maybe paperwork that needs to be signed or if they're doing, have they had their physical? It's more than just showing up and all of a sudden I'm play football.
And it's putting you in a tough position because if you could just be like, actually, I had other shit to do. I'm not doing that. But then Jonathan gonna be looking at you like,
this is something I really want to do.
You're getting in the way of me playing football.
And standing there, I want him to have activities. He needs this part, like this to grow up and stuff. And it's like, it's cool. But also, this is not the opportune time for this to be happening because this is the other thing. My mindset is Jonathan has to be picked up from athletics by 5:30. Joshua has to be picked up from daycare by 6. My day is done where we can now go home, do dinner, whatever. So you're telling me he has to be somewhere at 6. So that means he needs to be picked up by 5. So I could pick up Joshua by 5:30 to then get him to wherever he needs to go. Which also then means is Wednesday night, I need to pack his clothes to be able to have him change into
because I don't
have time to go back home.
Right.
Because it's in Upper Marlboro.
Right.
And I don't know if it's on my end of Upper Marlboro because he lives in Clinton or his end of Upper Marlboro.
Right. Yeah.
So,
but I mean, granted, you can't force nobody to do nothing. But it also goes back to like you set all this up. Like when are you gonna like? I'm shuffling my schedule. When are you gonna be inconvenienced?
But the thing is,
or not even be inconvenienced, but like when are you gonna put a hand in to help out with the logistics?
You want me, and this is my own. Maybe this is my own thing. If you could say I'm immature about it, but you want me to call you to say, "Hey, can you help?" And I'm not about that. If you know that you've set if I have something set up for Jonathan, I'm not calling you to help.
Right.
If I know, okay, I probably should stay late today, but I've already put on my schedule. Hey, on Tuesdays, at the first it was 4 o'clock, but the traffic done got bad since everybody back to work. So by 3:30, which is, I haven't left work at 3:30 in almost a little over a year or a year and some change. So unless it's like I'm leaving early because I already have something planned, but just for it to be every day, like every Tuesday and Thursday, leaving at 3:30, has not happened.
Right.
So I've now changed my schedule, which means that for me to get the still to be able to do my job, I'm going in at
Super
5:30.
early. Yeah.
Or 4:30 or whatever. And so I'm like, so now my day is now going to be even longer. And so like on Tuesdays, Davon doesn't work late, so I could, hey, can you meet me at the field so I can get Josh or whatever. But Thursdays and Fridays, he works late. So I don't even, and Jayla also has track and needs to get picked up. I'm like, it's other, I don't just have Jonathan. And I'm like, you want me to do all this stuff?
And he don't even just have one kid. Like, it's yeah, I get it.
So anyway, so I wanted to get the cheese for the mac and cheese and try to get that done Thursday, because everything else, because I was just gonna go to Aldi and just focus on this is gonna be done. Then on Friday was gonna be my big thing of getting the meatballs, getting the green beans, and all that other stuff that really just needs to go in the oven.
Right.
I really kind of just wanted to do things in as many
Space
stages.
it out through the week, yeah, so that you're not loaded up.
Right.
This weekend.
Exactly. And so tomorrow, and then on top of trying to do this for Jayla, because I needed to make the last number 16 and do some other things. So I started mapping it out, and then we went to his aunt and uncle's house. So I had to meet him back at home after he cut. I was, still doing some running around. I had to drop her off and getting her hair done on Sunday. So, like, it was just a lot of things going on. So now, recording in the middle of the week because we have other things going on Sunday. Yeah. And then, so tomorrow, so of course we could record this early on Monday. And then on Tuesday, what else did I do? So Tuesday, I got to still cook dinner for these people that my children and my family.
So you got one part is like planning out menu for her party, and then you still got to have regular groceries for regular food, regular dinner, whatever.
Went and got ribs. Because I'm like trying to break up the monotony of stuff.
Yeah.
So I made jambalaya. Now I'm like, okay, I want to do some ribs in a crock pot. But to do that is like prepping, which if we had went to the grocery store maybe Saturday, I would have cooked everything on Sunday and been done. But we went late Sunday. So now I'm like, if I put these ribs on, are you, meaning Davon, are you going to get up early enough to just take them out of the crock pot and put them on a paper, like on a sheet, wrap them and put them in the refrigerator.
Right.
So that when we get home,
you can just probably microwave them or heat them
I'm
back
going to put them in the oven and then put the barbecue sauce on them, so then they'll just get caramelized.
Yeah.
And then be ready to go because the girl that everybody's like, oh, baked potato. So we have baked potato and some, I always call it baby cabbage, Brussels sprouts. So, just trying to do all of the things. And it's just like, after her party, and I say this like, oh, after her party, it's none. And then on the 26th, so now we're looking at what we're doing for Joshua. And we think we're just going to go to like a little playhouse. But then his birthday, of course, is the 28th. And I'm like, let's do something low key, because also on Sunday, we went and looked at a house.
Yeah, I was doing a lot.
And the thing is, by the time we finished looking at the house, he went to go cut. I went to my mother's house, dropped some stuff off because I stopped again at the Dollar Tree. And then talked to my parents for a little bit. And then he called. So, on Saturday, we ended up putting up the tents.
Okay, good.
Because we wanted to see what everything looked like. But we knew it was going to rain Sunday, so we just took the covers off. So luckily the tents are up.
Oh, so that's already done.
But it's so girl, let me tell you this. Okay, you got two men.
Okay.
That don't be out there.
Who's the two men? Davon and your dad?
Correct.
Okay.
Jayla's sitting like a pretty little princess, living her life. So the way my parents' backyard is set up, so if you can imagine, when you first, like if you come, it's like they have a door in the middle of their house that is from the kitchen outside. Then there's a patio. They have a walkway that goes into their yard. I'm thinking, okay, we have basically two sides of the yard that don't have anything impeding its space.
Okay.
I'm like, let's go to the side. If the house is behind me, let's go to the side to the left because it's larger and it's not where the driveway is. So when people are walking up, that's not the first thing you see. It's kind of off of this. They're like, oh, I think we should do it where we can use the walkway as how people come in.
Okay, I see that.
But I'm thinking I'm going to have the tents one is here to make it a large
Okay,
rectangle.
like a semi. Okay, I was thinking a semicircle.
But no, but like a large, because everything's connected.
So it's going this way.
So it'll be a tent to make this the full
area,
like,
party area.
like
okay,
a triangle.
Okay.
My dad's like, I thought you were going to have it like this,
Mm-hmm.
where you just keep going down.
Oh, so he's saying make it like linear.
Lengthy, and I'm looking at width.
And you're saying, no, let's take it side. Well, you want to make it like a T.
No, I want to make it like a large square.
I'm trying to understand, is the patio going to be underneath?
No, so the patio's not, it's in the grass.
So the patio is in the grass, that's exposed. And then you want the two tents on either side of the patio.
No.
I'm confused.
Okay, so when you walk out, it's a patio.
Okay.
Right? Here's the square patio.
Okay.
Walk into the patio. Now they have on these two sides of the patio, it's like trees and flowers and stuff like that. So in the middle is a little path.
Got it.
Right?
Where does the path take you to?
Just to the yard.
Oh.
So they're thinking, put the door to the tent on the path.
At the end of the path. I kind of agree with them.
But they want so this would be one tent. Now this is 20 foot, 30 foot tent that stops here. Then another 30 foot tent that just goes straight back. Now you're thinking, so I'm saying to them, well, if I have it that way, first of all, the only thing that's going to fit in this tent being that way is one table for where people are going to sit.
I said, so situated.
So now everything else has to be either further down. It's not going to be enough space for the dance floor, stuff like that. I need a side by side to give me this open area.
Like a bigger square.
A bigger square.
Okay, I get it.
So they're like, well, no, and this, that, and the fourth. And I'm like, I said, but if we put it, because we could have fit them together, but they have a berm. So there would be a slope
in the middle.
So now the food sliding, people are on a hill kind of thing. So I said, I think that the better place is where it's flat, closer on the other side. They kind of like, no. So I said, well, bring mommy out here, right? And so dad was like, oh God, don't bring her out here.
This the same person who you just a couple weeks ago was saying she can't decide on nothing. And now you want to bring
because
her
I already
in
know, because she can,
to
so
be
she's
the tiebreaker.
She understands my logic.
Okay.
Right? So I have her come out, and so she's like, so what are we doing? So I'm telling her what they're saying. I'm saying, I don't think that's going to work. And so she's like, well, explain it to me. So I'm saying, well, if we put the tables here, my thinking was that we'll put where are we going to now put the other tables where the food would go? So now you have to walk all the way down here. Like everything is going to be in a line instead of it being in like a
centrally located area.
Exactly. So she was like, so I don't understanding. And this is what I called her out here for, because I already have told her where I wanted everything. I was like, well, I'm not understanding why we're not putting it over there. It's flatter and it's more space. And in my mind, I said, yes, this is why I called you out here, girl. Follow the follow. Because first they were like, let's put it over by the driveway. And she said, well, why are we going to put it over there? Because people, when you're walking up, people driving around, you're going to see that. It's tacky. I don't like that.
Right.
Let's move it over here. And that's back to the
original plan.
Why don't y'all keep putting it over there where the boxes are? I said, that's when we took it out. And that's what, so my dad was like, now, is this it? Because if I got to bring this out, because it's like you have to pull it all together, then pull it all out.
And it takes multiple people to pull it out.
So we end up putting it there, and so we're going through everything. So my mom is like, so then this is the part where I'm like, okay, thank God I have a good job. Thank God I've put money away for this. She was like, well, I still feel like it's going to be a little crowded. I think we need another tent. And so I was like, okay, well, let me go on Lowe's right now and see. So it is going to be delivered tomorrow. It'll be delivered to my parents' house.
Well, the good thing is now y'all got 3 tents, so when y'all have y'all summer parties and
all of the things,
when she have, I know your mom like to host at her house, so now we have it.
Yeah. So then it was like, okay, well, then I have to order 4 more heaters to heat all of the space. And so that comes on the 22nd.
Oh, gosh.
To her house. But at least the party isn't until late. So my hope is that it's there before 6 o'clock.
Yeah. It should be.
Yeah, so we'll just get more
Honestly, though, even if it comes after 6 o'clock, just throw it up.
Yeah.
You know
and
what I'm saying?
And they're small heaters, so as long as we have the propane kind of ready, all we have to do is hook it up and start. So the hope is that we don't necessarily have to warm up the other space until closer to like when it's time to dance and stuff like that. But we'll have the sternos in there as well. So
I also feel like once people get in there and start moving around, that's going to naturally heat it up.
So
and hopefully it's not too cold this coming weekend too.
So that was Saturday, Sunday, and then just back to freaking work. And it's just been a lot.
Luckily, we was able to go back to work.
Hello? That's the other thing. And so this is the thing. And I was trying to, like, this is the hard part of standing politics and people having folks in their different districts knowing what's important, right? So we are both in this DMV area where most people are in the government, know somebody in the government, contractor, whatever. So everybody is not considered essential.
Right.
We are already headed towards a recession. People are already losing their jobs. So I can understand Democrats feeling like we don't need to add fuel to this already burning house.
Yes.
The other part of that is like, no, let this motherfucker, like if they don't have the numbers as the people that y'all have the you run the House, you run the Senate, and you have the presidency, y'all could just let, like, why
y'all
is there an issue?
If y'all were united, you could really do whatever you wanted.
So clearly your shit it's messed up.
Yeah.
So Friday because on Thursday, Schumer was like, we blocking it. And so now everybody's getting prepared, like, okay, it looked like we shutting down. And then Friday, he like, we got the numbers not to block it. And so I think that people, like, in every district, your constituents feel a certain kind of way.
And different things affect different areas.
We have to remember, not just government workers, but that means the people in the military are not getting paid. That means all of the parks and rec, all of that shut down. And that's not just here. That means, like, when you go, and I didn't really realize it until that last shutdown, right when President Obama came in, like all the national parks. Yeah. So going to the Grand Canyon, that's shut, like all of that is shut down. And that's a lot of people.
Well, no, because they're privately owned. I was going to say Smithsonian, but they're privately owned.
So. They're
privately owned, but they're like colleges. They get money from the government, but they're privately owned.
But see, the thing is, and I wonder, and I don't know if they probably may have been open, but even with them being privately owned, who is hired through, like, are they under a government contract of hiring?
I don't know. I looked this up because me and my best friend was wondering. We were talking about this when we went to the George Washington Mount Vernon mansion. We were trying to understand, like, how does the museums and stuff, how does it work? Because you hear about museums getting donations and stuff like that. So when I looked it up, I mean, y'all can look it up, but when I looked it up, basically they're privately owned, but they get a lot of their money. Basically, majority of their money comes from donations, but they get a large portion of their budget from the government too. So one could assume that if we were in a furlough, that might affect them as well, like getting a portion of their budget, but I don't know if they would completely shut down since... Right. Like colleges, like, okay, yeah, we get a lot of money from the government, but we're not owned by the government. So we could still operate right. just on a much, much smaller budget. Yeah. And maybe it's like that. Like, they still operate, but just on a much smaller budget.
Yeah, so I don't, it would have been a mess. It would have been a mess. Because even with that, so you have like the people, the police officer, like all of that is affected. And even if the museums aren't, I want to see the National Mall would be closed.
I think that's considered, is that a part of the Smithsonian or is that a park?
I think it's a park.
If it's a park, it would be.
It would be, like, because you have Park and Rec is the ones that clean it. Yeah. So,
if it's a park, it would be closed. Yeah. I mean, but it's hard, too, because it's like, what do you, like, so, like, nobody wants to, like, not go to work. Nobody wants to be furloughed. But also, you also kind of feel like a rock in a hard place because it's like, well, they keep passing these.
Right, stop gaps.
Yes.
And that's what my dad said when we were talking about it. He said the Democrats you either made a bad decision or a worse decision. Like, there was no
good decision.
And it's unfortunate of how people that sit on this hill that make, and I ain't gonna say they make tons of money, but they have all these allowances and things that they can do, and they're playing chess with real people.
Yeah.
In their real lives. And I have to say, fortunately, knock on wood, that we have been blessed enough where, you know, God forbid it had furlough, and even if I did, I have the leave to be able to still for a little bit to help making sure that we can stay afloat. Devon has been able to save some money. Like, we would have been, now I ain't going a couple months, but we would have been okay.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people that just started jobs, don't have the leave. They're and companies that are like, we still in the middle of negotiating, so we don't even have the money to pay y'all. Y'all would have to be, you know, everybody gotta let go. Like, it would just be a mess. And so I just feel,
yeah, it is a mess. This weekend was kind of a lot for me too. I did a bunch of running around on Friday, just running my errands and getting myself together, doing my little stuff that I don't. But that I put off all week, so I can do on Friday
while everybody's still at work.
Yes,
and you can do
although like a lot. Well, it's better now because a lot of people back at work. I went to get my nails done. My nail tech was like, "You need to." So I don't refer him because he stays so busy. I literally have to get on his schedule. Like, so I go every 3 weeks. I literally will plan like 6 weeks out. Like, let me make my next appointment and then my next appointment after that, because your schedule will get booked and I won't be able to see you for a month or two.
Yeah.
So I told him, like, I don't be
referring you. I ain't got time for you to be turning nobody away.
Well, no, I don't got time for you to be turning me away.
Right, true.
Because you booked.
Right,
now my friends done got up on your calendar.
Right.
But when I went Friday, he was like, "Oh, I need you to refer me because now that people going back to work, I don't have, you know, his clients like during the week that would come like on a Wednesday morning or something like that." And I said, "I'm still not referring you because now all them people want to try to come on the weekend. And now they encroaching on my time."
So, you know what's so funny? So, and I don't know what time she went in, but this, one of the managers at my job, she was in late because she went and got her hair cut.
I mean, people do that. I know plenty of people that will, that will come in to late work or, you know, for a regularly scheduled like pedicure.
I'm like,
I'll just go to work late. I got to get that done.
My direct manager was like, because she was like, I need to leave for the kid to do something with my kids. And she's like, I just feel bad. And she was like, but I don't know why I feel bad when she came in late because she got her a haircut and a blowout.
Hey,
I said exactly. So
as
you gotta do what you gotta.
You gotta prioritize your work-life balance.
And she got kids and she got other activities and it just was not working out. You got to do what you got to do. Yeah.
Saturday we went to, oh gosh, let me tell you about this. Saturday, Lord. I took my little cousin to my girlfriend Shantae. Her son is exactly a month younger than my cousin. So we went to his birthday party. He turned 5. He had his party at Sky Zone.
Okay.
So I'm there with my cousin. And I think I may have told y'all this, but my cousin is on the autism spectrum. So he not like the normal 5-year-old. I kind of got to run behind him a little bit. And I was nervous because I was like, oh, I hope he don't be overstimulated. He never been to Sky Zone before. But I had a plan. I had his tablet. He had his headphones. I was like, worst case scenario, he's overstimulated. We'll just stay in the party room. He could be on his iPad with his headphones. But he was not overstimulated at all. When he got there,
he added to the stimulation.
When he seen it, he was like, oh, people just running around.
I could do what I want.
And we just jumping and just do whatever. He wouldn't even let me put the socks on. I'm like, okay, once I put your socks on, then you can run, I promise. Get the socks on. He was gone. I mean, it was like, I'm like, you don't even know where you at. He like, I'll figure it out.
I will figure it out.
So he running all around and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm just kind of like nervous a little bit. Like, dang, like you
probably like you blocking.
But I'm like, it's big kids, it's little kids, everybody's jumping, running into each other. I'm trying to like find him like a little area where he can just be to himself. He don't want no parts. He wants to be in the mix.
Call him Mixie because I'm trying to be in the fight.
So he gets, okay. So if y'all ever been to Sky Zone, you know how it's set up. You know how they have like the obstacle course, and underneath the obstacle course is like the airbag, so that when you fall, you don't hurt yourself. So he goes on the obstacle course, and obviously he's a little kid, so he can't do none of it. So he falls into the airbag, and he can't really figure out how to get out. So I'm like, dude, figure it out. But then he's like struggling, so I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna have to go in there and get him. Like, I'm gonna have to help him. I don't know what I was thinking.
What were you? Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. But after this experience, I'm like, I will never do that again. Like, he would just suffer. So basically, it's like an
y'all both in there struggling to get out.
It was like an airbag. So when he gets in, he only like 30 pounds.
Right.
So his little body, you know what I'm saying? I get in, the whole thing sinks down. Now I'm rolling my fat ass around. And I cannot get out. Like, I can't get any leverage. Like, every time I put my foot down, it sinks into the airbag. I put my hand down, it sinks into the airbag. And I'm literally rolling around. My girlfriend laughing at me. I
would have been on
she's dying. I'm like, Shantae, get the baby. Get the baby. So I lift him up. She grabs him. And I'm literally just rolling back and forth, trying to get out. Like, I cannot gain any purchase. Okay, every time I try to stand up, I sink into this airbag. So I don't know if it was adrenaline or what, but they have like the little they have this little tunnel where you do like the army crawl through the tunnel. So I grab onto the ropes of the tunnel.
Okay.
Like on the underside of it. Yeah. And I'm like now crabbing to the edge of it so that I could get to the edge of the thing so I could climb out. Yes, I could scoot out. Girl, get to the edge of the thing. Now I'm like, how am I going to get my legs out? So I grabbed onto the top of the ring and literally had to like swing myself and like
I wish somebody recorded this.
I'm on it like it's like a circle.
Yeah.
I'm on it like on the side of it, trying to swing and like grab my leg, hook my leg up. Once I got out of that thing, I said, "Fuck it, I'm done." I'm sweating, breathing hard, looking for my inhaler. My cousin kicks it. He running around. I said, God got him. God got him. He will be all right.
He's gonna have to be okay.
I got to take care of me. When I said, what the hell is this? I said, what was I even thinking? I'm thinking I'm going to come in and save him.
You in survival mode. You taking yourself down.
Child, I said, that's it. I told him, I said, the next time you go in there,
it's it.
You're going to have to find yourself out because the only thing I can do, you know how somebody drowning and you don't know how to swim, so you stand on the edge of the pool. That's me. I'm standing on the edge of the platform with my arm out. I'm not getting back in there. But we did, so that part was crazy. After that, I was scared to do anything else, but I did get on the actual trampoline because it was more sturdy. It could like support your weight. That was super fun. But the next day after that, I was so sore.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
I ain't fucking with that.
Child.
I ain't fucking with that. But they had a good time. My cousin had so much fun. I was surprised. I really was. It's like, you know, when people when people on the spectrum, you don't really know what things will trigger them, what won't. Like loud noises, bright lights, colors, textures. You never know. But he seemed to like all of it. He got into the foam pit. I don't think he understood, like, he saw the other kids playing around in the foam pit. I don't think he understood. Okay, let me take that back. I think he understood what you were supposed to do in it, but I think he got hyper fixated on the foam balls because he kept squeezing them.
It's the texture, probably the texture.
So yeah, like I think he just kind of like was like, "What is this?"
Yes.
And just kept squeezing it.
Yeah.
But I let him do whatever he wanted to do. We stayed there for about 2.5 hours, and I sat on the side with the other parents, other than like jumping on the trampoline part. Otherwise, I let him do whatever he wanted. And then he's nonverbal, so he don't say anything, but he'll like grab your hand and like tell you what he wants.
Show you.
Child, I look away for a second, look back. He done got some white girl holding his hands, jumping with him, and then he wants her to lift him up. So he puts the girl's hand
on his
hips.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, you want to jump up?" So she doing it. She throwing him up. Like, they jumping together, but she's giving him a little more leverage, right? So they're doing that, and he just laughing. So she do it for a little bit, then she stop. Then he take her hands. He like, do it again. I didn't tell you to stop.
No, robot, do it.
So she doing it. So after 3 or 4 times, I'm like, all right, Kingston, that's enough. Like, she, you know what I'm saying? You can't hold her hostage. And she was like, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. I said, girl, he ain't gonna never let you leave. Like, when they get,
when it's something that they enjoy,
it's like, I'm locked on it. And we'll do this 100 times.
Yes.
So I was telling her, like, he's not gonna let you leave.
Yeah.
She's like, it's okay. It's okay. So then I was like, you know, also, like, you know, he, like, not really verbal. She was like, it's fine. Like, I know. She's like, my mom has a daycare, so, like, I work with kids all the time. So I was like, all right, girl. Listen, I tried to help you.
Right.
But then after a while, like, literally, he had this girl hemmed up for probably, like, a good 25 minutes. To the point where I start feeling uncomfortable. I'm like, all right, let's go. Yeah. Like, damn, she came here to hang out with her friends and stuff. Like,
you go, it ain't about you.
It ain't about you. But I said,
I wish some LaToya, if somebody,
no, I'm glad that nobody has the footage of that.
You would have went viral.
No,
girl,
I was fighting for my life.
I don't even need to go to TikTok. It just need to go into the friend circle.
I was fighting for my life.
I promise you, if that were me, if somebody recorded me, I know I would laugh at it after, but at the time,
yeah,
somebody help! Put the camera down and help!
I'm sharing the story because I know it's funny, but if there was actual footage of that, I would be so mortified. Because I know that I probably look like a piece of fucking a turkey leg rolling around in the damn barbecue sauce. Hell no. I have the visual, but I promise
you want the actual visual. No. And the thing was going to make it funny is listening to Shantae laugh in the background.
Oh my God. She was laughing. So talk about toy. I'm like, get the baby. Get the baby.
I'd have been on the floor. I promise you, LaToya. I'd have tried to help you, but I promise you, I'd have been no good because I'd have been laughing.
Yeah. Now
I don't care if somebody is skinny doing it. The fact that the grown person is struggling
hard,
had me
and
on
it's not,
the
and it's not, you know, like aside from that, because weight is a factor, but just the difference between a kid and an adult.
Yes.
Because there was a man in there too, and he was having just a regular man. He wasn't like big, but he was having a hard time.
That's what I'm saying. It's not about
but
the
he
weight.
was smart because I don't think I knew. My brain, I just didn't know that once I got in there, I was going to sink like that. He knew. So he had a hand still on like one of the...
Yeah.
So, you know, they had the little like rope things?
Yes.
He had a hand on one of the rope things, so he wasn't fully
in there. Yeah.
And I was fully in there, and he was laughing at me, and I was like, stop, it's not, but I cannot get out. He was like, I know. Like, he was like, and I can't even help you.
That's the thing, because I'm not going back in there with you. So we can't be both up in here. Oh, so, hollering.
That was my Saturday. So Sunday, I'm sore. My little brother My brother ended up getting sick with the flu, so we had to be in the emergency room all day Sunday. And then this man almost burnt the fucking house down. Cause he wanted to make a pound cake. So last week he talking about he gonna make a pound cake. Okay, cool. He makes the pound cake, and it didn't get brown like he wanted. It was still pale on the outside. So I'll take responsibility. I told him, well, you can turn the broiler on. I said, but what you have to do is you have to watch it. I said, I think maybe like 60 seconds will be enough, but you got to keep your eyes on it. You have to watch it, right? So he said, okay. I said, okay. So I go upstairs. I go, I got to use the bathroom. I go upstairs on my phone, minding my business. Next thing I know, I hear him yelling, Toy. I'm like, what? I need you to come downstairs. I'm like, so I call him. Because I'm on my phone. I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, I'm in the bathroom, using the bathroom. What's up? It's a fire. I'm like, oh, gosh. Hurry up. Put my stuff back together. Run downstairs. The whole top of the pound cake is in flames. I said, what did you do? He said, I was watching the pound cake. He said, I was sitting on my phone watching the pound cake. And next thing you know, I smelled something burning. I said, Chris, you couldn't have been watching it if you was on your phone. When I say watch it, I literally mean keep standing right there. I said, I told you 60 seconds. Like, how long do you think that is? He was like, well, I put a timer on for 60 seconds and I sat down. I said, no, you got to watch it. So then we standing there. I'm like, okay, fuck, what do I do? Because I don't want to pour water in my oven, right? And we didn't have a fire extinguisher, corrected that. But now my high school education kicking in, and I'm like, okay.
Where's the baking soda?
I was going to do baking soda, but then I said, I'm going to do salt.
Okay.
So the salt worked. And the reason why I went salt is because his cake wasn't actually burnt, but the top part had just kind of caught a flame. So I was like, well, if I throw salt on it, we can always dust the salt off and just cut that top part off, which is what we end up doing. I had the wherewithal to think if I covered in baking soda, the cake gonna be ruined.
Yeah.
And then it would be hard for me to clean that baking soda out of the oven, which the salt was easy to clean out of the oven. And so my brother's like on his phone, and I'm like, what are you doing? This nigga asking ChatGPT, how do you put out a fire? I said, are you serious? He was like, yes, I panicked. He said, but I learned something. So was that salt?
Chris, you gonna stay in this house because you ain't ready.
That's what Jay said. He said,
ready.
He said, what are we doing?
You ain't ready.
What are we doing?
We have not prepared you for the real world, brother.
I'm like, wow, I was shocked. So then I had to sit him and Sydney down. So, okay, here's how you put out a fire. Here's what you can use. Right. I told him about the baking soda. I said, if it's a grease fire, do not throw water on my stove. Grab the baking soda. Like, we did all of that.
Or cover it. You smother it.
Or smother it. I told him that. But then I was like, be careful. If you use a rag, make sure
Don't use a rag.
But, I mean, you can, but you just have to make sure that you stomp it out. Like, I had to teach him all about embers and how embers can light a fire. Like, all of that stuff. Yeah. So, we went through all of that. So, that's how my week has been. And then I found out today, I was kind of sort of tracking it, but not really. But apparently there was a lunar eclipse, a red blood moon. Mercury's in retrograde. All the planets are aligned. I said, no wonder everything is
another plane done caught on fire.
Child.
What are we doing? The EU, we got tariffs on tariffs on tariffs.
I said, no wonder everything is crazy. So, anyway, that was my week.
Child.
We've been getting caught up a lot. All right, so I want to read this real quick. Okay. This is some mess, y'all. This is really some mess. And it's probably old. I'm just now seeing it.
Okay.
But I'm reading.
Oh.
So it said, I found this on Facebook, by the way. So it says, my husband came home last week in a worrying state. He asked me to talk. Then, wait, this is when he explains to me that he has a mistress and she's pregnant.
Girl, I heard
You
about
saw
this
that?
just
Oh,
today.
you just today? Okay, me too.
Today.
Okay, so she's threatening to tell me everything if he doesn't send her to Europe. So he said he'd rather.
Oh no, this is not the same one.
Okay, he'd rather I learn it from him than from her. So he's all, baby, please forgive me, and trying to. So the woman is like, so she says, my problem is that I don't know how to tell my husband that his mistress is a liar.
Cause she's sterile. Yes. Okay. This is it. Okay.
I know 100%. I'm 100% sure she's lying because my husband is infertile or sterile, but he doesn't know it himself. And if I tell him the truth about his mistress, then he will know in that same occasion that our 2 children are not his.
Girl, if you a dilemma on top of a dilemma.
Somebody said if Uno Reverse was a person.
It was a person. You thought you was Uno out, and you up in there.
But the first thing that came to my mind is why he keep attracting toxic women.
He a cold sucker.
And I'm like, so a lot of people say how he don't know he not, how does she know and he doesn't know? But I'm like, that makes perfect sense to me because if
my wife is telling me now that she's pregnant,
then you thinking, oh, I got her pregnant. Like, I don't understand why people weren't getting that.
Yes.
Even like, you know what I'm saying? Like if they married and they having unprotected sex
and then she ends up pregnant,
yeah.
Even if it's like you're having a hard time,
yeah,
and she ends up pregnant, it's like,
oh, we just went through some stuff.
Maybe something was going on and it wasn't aligning.
And I don't know if this is real or not. It could be fake, but I thought it was juicy. I was like, oh my gosh.
I don't even know. So I don't even know. I don't even know. Because part of me feels like I'm going to just divorce you off the principle of you cheated and I know about it. Not the fact that you...
And so you're not even going to dispute the fact that the mistress is lying.
First of all, that's not my business. Get a
DNA
test.
That's not my business.
Get a DNA test.
Yeah.
Right? But the other thing is, what a tangle where we weave. Because if he get a DNA test with that child and it's not his, and then he go and be like, so was you messing with somebody else? Da 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 da. No. Well, of course, yes. I wonder if his brain would be like,
let me get a DNA test on the other kids. I feel like probably not, because those are kids that he had in his marriage.
Right.
So he would probably hold that to a higher standard.
But then my other question would be like, if I've been like busting a nut and you get pregnant by somebody else and not me, I think as a dude I'd be like, did I dodge a bullet or is there something amiss?
I don't know. So if I was the wife, it depends on the situation. Like, if I want to, because he comes back, he's remorseful. I'm sorry. I'd rather you find out from me than her. I would come from a different angle. I wouldn't even try to convince him that the outside baby is not his. I would maybe just be like, from now on, you need to step up in this household. Like you said, you did what you did. You had your fun. And I would let him sweat. Like, I would let him sweat. I'd be like, you got this baby coming. You need to figure out what you're going to do.
So this is my thing. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to drag it because clearly I did my own thing.
Right. I mean, right? I would leave it to the mistress. However she wants to handle it is however she want to handle it. If she wants to ride this out of like, this your baby, even though I know it's not his baby.
That's not my business.
That's not my business.
But I also feel like I don't know how old their children are.
Yeah. Because
I'm in my mind, I'm like, I don't want my money for this household going to a baby I know is not yours.
Yeah. But your kids ain't his. So that's hypocritical.
But we in this household.
True.
Because you're still, like, when I say, like, you're still my husband, though.
Yeah.
And off of, first of all, off of um what is it? The pot calling the kettle black. The what's the other one? Dang. When dudes could, like, what's good for the goose, like, if dudes could do something, but they, it's like, oh, I could choose.
Oh, double standards.
Off of the double standard, though, I don't care. I know I did, so I did it twice.
Yeah, true. I
mean, was at the hospital, and you was.
No part of me is like she need to tell her husband the truth. No.
But then the other part of me is like,
I'm taking it to the grave. If you find out later, I'll deal with it. But like in this situation,
I ain't saying
you fucked up, and I'm gonna let you be the one that fucked up.
My thing is, you ain't know about mine.
Right.
I'm upset.
I respected you enough to keep mine under wraps.
I'm upset that I know.
Yeah, how you let me find out?
So you should have wrapped it up.
Mm-hmm.
You should have did whatever you need to do.
Or get your hoe in line.
For this not to be a thing.
I always be saying this. If you're going to do your dirt and you still want your relationship, you have to make sure that side piece has the right mindset and understand that they the side piece. Once they start acting like, oh, I'm going to tell your wife, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, they're trying to change their position.
Yeah.
And
now you got a problem.
Because you made a bad judgment call.
I feel like if you going to have a side piece, and I ain't condoning this. Let me find out.
I'm not condoning it either.
Let me find out, and everybody got to go.
Yeah.
And everybody got to go. But if that's something that you feel that you have to do for and it literally is a personal thing, because it's not about the other person, and it's however, it ain't the best, it's not a good decision. But if you're going to do that, first of all, you need to do that with somebody that's going to lose the same amount you're going to lose. Mm-hmm. And then also it's like you are trying to make someone super comfortable in that space. Mm-hmm. If you're going to have something on the side, most of the time, when you have a side, your sides change. Not saying that you got to be with multiple people, but you don't get fixated on mashed potatoes, because you also eat green beans.
Right.
And you have mac and cheese.
Right.
And sometimes it's a sweet potato.
Right.
But because you're not just only having mashed potatoes every meal, you're going to get to the point where you only want mashed potatoes.
Right.
Diversify is what you should. Meaning, you have a side piece, go to the gym. Have this. Have some business about yourself.
Some other outlets where that's not your only outlet.
That's not your only outlet. Mm-hmm. But,
And I agree with the first point you made. Like, they need to also have something to lose. Or you just have to really trust that they have a mindset where... maybe not necessarily also have something to lose, but like, you know how like sometimes you have these younger girls that are like, I don't want to replace your wife. I just want to have fun with you.
But the problem with that, though, the only problem with that is that people always be wanting more, right? So if it's like, oh, I'm just having fun, and he take me on a couple trips. Now you've taken me all around. We always go to Miami. Now I want to go here. Mm-hmm. My friends go skiing. I now want to go skiing. Like now you want to do things. Yeah, you may not want to replace, but you want more of the materialistic things. And you're taking my time.
Or it could be that the guy wants more. Like, I feel like sometimes that happens too, where it's like, you have your side piece, they cool with just being your side piece, but you don't want them to talk to nobody else.
Right.
So it's like...
So now you want to occupy their time.
Yeah, and it's like you're not even free for real to occupy their time.
Exactly. And so now you done put yourself in a situation where that's all you want. And then when that's all you can get, you don't want that no more. I think about like, I don't know if you ever watched Huntsville. Love and Marriage Huntsville. Girl, Martell Hope is the terrible.
Really?
He has a wife, Melanie. They have 3 kids. Now Melanie's pregnant. This is past season, so she ends up getting pregnant. They know the whole thing about his mistress comes out. She already knew about the mistress, has known about the mistress for years. She still is with him, gets pregnant because he's like I'm going to take care of the household, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Finds out not just does he have this mistress, so he's had this mistress for let's say 10 years. They've been married 15. So you've had this mistress almost the same amount of time that we've been married.
Right.
Now the mistress gets pregnant because you've done helped her through school, all of the things. So now Melanie's like, F this. Now we on TV and you embarrassing me in front of everybody. I want a divorce. They get a divorce. He don't go to the mistress. He started messing with Sheree from from Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
Housewives. So I'm like, even you as a mistress, you are a side to this situation. You're not a main for me to have another side. You know what I'm saying? You're always considered, like, people don't.
Was the mistress thinking that he was gonna, once he got divorced, he was gonna make her?
I think so, because she was like, oh, because he got her the apartment, he did all these things, and a lot of times it's about a man's ego that I can do this. You are a package deal part of this package. If I'm no longer with my wife, I'm no longer with you.
Ooh.
You are, like, this is the
like
package.
My wife plus you gives me that 100%. When I don't have the 80, which is the wife,
I don't need the 20. I'll just go out and try to find 100 somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people don't connect the connections. And then even if you do become the main, you become the main and still, like, you become the main where then he goes and finds another side. Then inevitably you all switch roles where you're back to being the side because he went to find the 80.
Right.
He's going to always go look for the 80.
Right.
You can, if you were the 80, you would have never been in that position because you had too much. Because first of all, you had too much yourself to lose, and you valued yourself too much. So when you are that 20, that maybe 30, because they're never going for 50.
Right.
If I have to get 50, I want something new. You're going to go for that 80-20. You get this 20 who gives you all of the, oh, we just have fun. There's no seriousness behind it. But where you fucked up is when you had a baby and you were 20.
Yeah.
If I already got 4 kids with an 80, what makes you think I want a baby with a 20?
Yeah.
No.
But then why are you sleeping with her unprotected, though?
Because that's the fun part, the Russian roulette of it all.
I mean,
but
I guess.
You're the one that's supposed to say, you know what, now, because the mindset is, well, I already have this going on. Why would you want a baby with me?
Right.
You need to go have an abortion. You need to pop a plan B. You need to do this because we're just having fun. But your mindset is like, well, we having fun, but we're going on these trips and we're doing this and we're doing that. And your mind gets tricked into thinking you're more than what, on paper, you are what you are.
I totally agree.
But I ain't saying shit. Take care of these kids.
Yeah. How do you, before we get off of this, how do you ensure that he takes care of your kids and money doesn't, I mean, as a large sum of money doesn't go to this outside baby? So, like, you're married. So do you put your husband on child support even though you married?
This is the problem. Here's the dilemmas of the sticky to sticky. Let's say the girl puts him on child support. More often than not, since you're a side chick, I'm going to ask for a DNA test. Right. They're just going to ask for one.
Right. All right, so we could just wrap it up.
Let's go. Listen, because the laptop said it's nighttime. The hell?
The laptop said that was another great episode.
Shut it down. Nope.
Guys, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Drop down into them comments. What would you do?
Yeah,
if you were in this situation, you knew them children wasn't his. You know the other child was there, but is it about the children or the deception? Now, and is it about the deception or the fact that you was too sloppy and should have just kept it cute? What's your thoughts? Because deception was on both ends. You just don't know about mine.
Yeah.
And with that,
we will drink to that.
Ciao.